Well, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here, of course, with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, this literally does not work. I mean, it does not work. So let's get open for business here, and let's wake up the football gods here on this hump day. I'm excited. I am excited for a multitude of reasons. Yesterday was freaking insane. And I'm going, I got the music playing in the background. Hopefully you can hear me over it, but I had to have my morning coffee here. Yesterday I was part of the Hall of Fame inductees press Zoom call. I got to talk to Harold Carmichael and ask him a question. The funny thing about, Harold Carmichael is the answer came back to the Dallas Cowboys. I haven't had a chance to go ahead and get that one out. I'll have that one out later on this morning. But Cliff Harris, the reason I love Cliff Harris and the Dallas Cowboys legends, and I know a lot of you, don't really care about Hall of Famers or looking at that. You're living in the here and now. And I understand that because one of the coolest things that ever happened to me is actually getting to take Roger Staubach back from the Hall of Fame to his hotel. To make a long story short, Roger Staubach had people for days looking for the autograph. He was only supposed to sign for an hour. He signed for 2. He had to do a PSA for United Way and had to leave that. And when he was done, Roger Staubach was so humble. My wife asked him, "What are you doing now, Roger?" He's like, "Well, I came over here with a friend. I need to go back to my hotel. I need to find him." And my wife's like, "You can't just walk around the Hall of Fame and not get molested. Mark, get the car, take Roger back to his hotel." I'm like, "What?" And so I'm, for about 15 minutes, one-on-one with Roger Staubach, looking at that first Super Bowl ring on his finger that's literally right beside me. We're having a conversation about the pistol offense because this is right after RG3's rookie year. But I'll never forget what he said was, "It's just great to be remembered." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? You're Roger. Who's going to forget you?" Never. But in essence, that's what happens. And that interview where Cliff was only supposed to go for 25 minutes went for an hour. There's so many things that you can relate to the Dallas Cowboys in the situation and so much knowledge that I wish that every one of our players listen to that. For those who don't know who Cliff Harris is, because most of you are saying, "Who?" Oh, my football gods. I didn't put him back up there. Forgive me. The football gods. Wow. I'm really a mess. Everything is just kind of out of kilter because I've just been so busy. But I've got to redo the set because we'll be doing more of those today. Jimmy Johnson, Troy Polamalu, Peyton Manning. Cliff Harris was one of the most vicious hitting safeties in the history of the NFL. I wish our safeties could watch that and listen and learn from him. Because in the same way that I'm trying to redo the red brick house and people are like, "Why are you bothering with the house that's that old? Them old windows and foundation and creaky floors and stuff, it might be haunted. Why don't you get yourself a new house?" Because if you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going. It's bottom line. You don't. And there are no new ideas. Circumstances may change, but the premises are still the same. They have the football, and we have to stop them. And a lot of it is the desire in the players. And I'm thankful that I got to spend that time talking to Cliff Harris. That was amazing. And it was cool because this morning, my man DMV has been on hiatus. He's taking care of a whole bunch of stuff. Shout out to him because he went from wide receiver coach to offensive coordinator. He's got his hands full, but he's getting back into the swing of things because we're getting close to the season. You realize that a week from today, our Dallas Cowboys will be in Oxnard and already have spent a night, and that a week from tomorrow will be the first practice on the field. And in a couple of weeks, we'll see them at the Hall of Fame, and the Jobu Sports Report will be there. So definitely hold on to your hats, because the season is coming fast and furious. We got 57 days, 10 hours, 48 minutes from now till we kick off against Tampa Bay. In talking to DMV, he said he did an Instagram post about Jourdan Lewis being on the bubble and got blocked by Jourdan Lewis. And I said, well, you know, he's like, I don't have that many followers on Instagram to block me. It's not like I send them messages and stuff. I said, well, you got to understand, there's a lot of guys that are feeling pressure right now for the season. And I go through, you know, Bleacher Report, and of course they have, you know, big names that may be on the bubble, and they pop up. You know, one of their 8 is Jaylon Smith. But when you think about this, this is actually a good thing. You know how when you work, you have people that are comfortable. They know you got to do enough work to get by, but you don't have to do too much. You just do enough. You're comfortable. You don't have to worry, because they're not going to notice if you don't come up with some new big ideas and stuff. But you're not doing work that's poor enough that they got to say, you got to get up out of here. They're just comfortable. But when you get a new boss, or you see somebody else that comes in that all of a sudden is wowing them, coming up with new ideas, that's putting in the extra work, all of a sudden you start feeling pressure like, whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, slow down, bro. You're making me look bad. You start thinking about your own mortality. And this is the thing about football. Cliff said yesterday, you know, it's crazy to even think about this, but Cliff got an ultimatum from his job that said either it's us, not football, or it's football. His off-season job. You're either going to play football or you're going to work for us. For him, the decision was easy because he had hurt his neck and his career was ending sooner than he thought. But the thing about football is it's a bastard of a business. You can't ever be comfortable. It doesn't matter who you are or how much you've done or how well you've done in the past. They can go ahead and say, it's time for you to get up out of here because you make too much money. We appreciate all the things that you did before, but we got a young pup here who's going to take your job. And so what you're probably feeling right now is guys getting a lot of pressure. Jourdan Lewis looking and saying, Woozy's gone. Anthony Brown looks like he's in a slot. You know, they drafted Kevin Joseph, and then Nashawn Wright kind of wowed him in OTAs. And then you see on Instagram somebody saying, you know, you might be on the bubble. Football is a bastard of a business. There is no guarantees for you. For the Dallas Cowboys and for the team, this is the best thing that can happen is now people are literally saying, I can't be comfortable. So when you look at, say, Carlos Watkins, when he became a free agent, you want to look and say, who's going to pay me the most money and who is going to give me the opportunity to play? I'm sure he looked at the Dallas Cowboys and said, the Dallas Cowboys were 32nd in defense. They just got rid of Dontari Poe, Emerson Griffin, Gerald McCoy. You know, they got the Canadian Bulldozer going in the second year. They got Tristan Hill. They don't have much there. I can go there and I can be a star. I can, you know, just move up the interstate from Houston and be there in Dallas. That's a good situation. Because he was one of the first guys that they actually signed as a free agent, right? Lo and behold, all of a sudden, that room got crowded. They bring in Keith Urban, the guy who's been a starter, great run stopper. They draft Quentin Bohannon. They draft Osi. All of a sudden, now you're looking at the defensive line and saying, wait a minute, I'm on the outside looking in. A guy like Tristan Hill, who was a second-round draft pick, going his third year, he's on the bubble. All these guys are now feeling pressure of, I got a couple of weeks to stake my claim to be here. And that goes for Jourdan Lewis. That goes for Jaylon Smith, because Jaylon Smith, you know, they brought in Micah Parsons. You know, you end up getting Keanu O'Neal. Whoa, dude, who is now a linebacker too. And you're talking about your base defense being a 3-4, which is really two outside linebackers, really two linebackers on the field. So all of a sudden, there ain't a whole lot of playing time out here. They brought in a couple of young guys. He's got to be feeling that pressure. And for us, I think it's the best thing. I don't want anybody to ever feel too comfortable. See, in my own personal life, I believe that every day you have to put in the work to try and get better. You can't ever be satisfied with, hey, I'm playing good right now. Because what happens is the things that you did right now, tomorrow will be old. Somebody younger, smarter, faster is going to understand what you learned how to do. They're going to do it better and cheaper. Thing about football is, it doesn't matter who you are. You look at those guys that are in the Hall of Fame. They got replaced by somebody else. And the question is how soon will you be replaced? And that's really on the onus of the player. With that being said, I got a lot to do. We're going to be doing the, like I said, the Hall of Fame Zoom calls. I got to clean up the desk. I got to dust the place. And I got to take the advice of my wife, because she says, you got too much stuff there. I got to clean this up some and make it look really, really good, because opportunities don't come around that often. And just like Eminem, you got one shot, one opportunity. You better be ready to make the most of it. With that being said, you know what time it is. Thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jourdan Sports Report.
You did it one hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?